Hi, I'm JInhwan Kim and I'm working as a Chinese developer in company named Quarto. And today I'll talk about R4CR, that is Education for Clinical Researchers via Quarto. But I want you to focus with this sentence, share your R with R. So I hope my talk helps you to share your R contents with Quarto. And actually, this slide is also made with Quarto. In this talk, I want to focus on some technical things to share how to build your own R4CR. So I will cover how to share your own R content without cost and things I considered before choosing Quarto to build R4CR and key steps to build web page with simple example code and the result images. And I will not cover detailed guide for R or Quarto and how to make your own R contents and very detailed instruction for customized features using JavaScript. So what is R4CR? And R4CR stands R for clinical researchers, and it is inspired by R4DS or R4CSR and strongly by R4SS. And it has some contents related with art. It has some custom features for utilization like external service. For example, I am showing some custom feature that is chatting service with client and us. And here are some example I've made with Quarto presentation for lecture notes with R. And again, it is almost made with R and Quarto, just not any new web programming languages. Clinical or medical field is one of the most important area that R is used because this field has working with management of data and statistic analysis and reshaping output like visualization for use by a variety of audience such as regulators or academics. To achieve that, not only R but also SAS is used well, but R is increasingly popular due to its flexibility and open source nature. Traditionally, researchers focused on the design and execution of the study and leave the coding to professional people like statistical programmers or statisticians. But now researchers are increasingly coding themselves. And our team, Chart2, is a research support organization and recently started training researchers to code to meet this demand. So you may wonder why this matters to you, because as you know, R is used very extensively in various fields. And naturally, contents like slide, record, or document reports are followed. And we have to organize it and use it easily. So as our team, try to had a number of our contents for medical school or pharma members to lecture. And we used it for seminars like short-term events, but need to create a new repository for every single time, and managing and updating that content is really hard work for me. To do this, I used to GitHub repository and some readme long files to show a list like this figure. So like previous presentation and click, and this contents will be appeared with in new web page. This approach is not bad, but informations are not organized well. So reader should read every readme to find and click it. So browse all the readme time. And if multiple contents are connected, like some series, and it increase very complexity. So I was thinking someday I should solve this issue, and to make some solution, there should be some principles to keep. So first one is it should support natively R. For example, not image of code or plot results, but rather than include result itself. And I can manage it one place, like one R project or one R repository. So not better site or directory page. And I want to make some customized features as I want. Also, I want to avoid use additional techniques like web development and don't want to make payment for this. And these are considered methods include the previous method like GitHub README. And actually I have to manage clinical R resources to use for the lecture. So I can use Learning Management System, LMS, and it requires pay to use. And I can use some blog service, but it has limited to use native R. Also, I consider professional web page or commercial web page like WordPress, but also it has to pay, and just slide service like SlideShare, which doesn't support R natively. But after some trial, this method, GitHub Pages and Quarto blog worked for me. So since I am familiar with GitHub, I use the GitHub page, but other static hosting web service like Netlify or Browser may work. Because there is excellent talk with Quarto already, I just shortly introduce the advantage of using Quarto. First, you need to use only Markdown and R, which is not very difficult for me or you. And it supports R codes and results very natively. And it works well with RStudio and also can be customized in Quarto with some using JavaScript. And also various formats like website or presentation, dashboard, book, and more are supported without any cost. And there are a lot of guides for Learn Quarto, and I believe you should try. With these Quarto's benefit and some trials, of course I will not handle every point of it, but I will cover some tricky points. First, I've made a Quarto blog-based website and then transformed our contents as Quarto presentation, but also a PDF also works fine. Then I decorated the website with these tricks that I will explain later. So, how to make Quarto website? It is most easiest part of today's talk. You need to just use our studio's project with Quarto website, but not blog. And after this step, structure of R4CR looks like this. Next, I organize contents or other information using navigation bar, and here's some example code for configuration file and result navigation bar image. With this, user doesn't need to explore very long list of README file from GitHub repository, and not only contents but icons or external link or about page possible with this navigation bar feature. And actually this part is basic starting point of R4CR and was organized our slide easily. And here's way to store slide within Quarto web page. This is I called embedding. It consists with two steps. First, you should make Quarto slide obviously, and then you should make Quarto page to include previous Quarto slide file. For example, if I want to make base R slide in day one section that available in navigation bar, I build base R.qmd file for web page and slide.baser.qmd as a slide. For baser.qmd file, it is just required to use this iframe element. To distinguish two QMD file, I use this slide dot naming rule, but not necessary to keep this. When you use Quarto, you can utilize JavaScript to customize feature. For example, Slick JavaScript shows some images like this sponsored logo compass. To achieve this, you should include Slick's asset as an independent file. Note that this archive QMD file is Quarto blog, not just Quarto website. This is very complicated and not necessary and kind of hard work in R4CR, so you can skip this. I used external service with API or SDK to build CS chat or payment. And most of them are utilized JavaScript function and With some HTML and JavaScript work named Axios, Quarto web page can communicate with other web service. And again, easy one, deploy or named share. Since I started R4CR as Quarto project in RStudio, it is not different with other Quarto web page project. So you have to commit and change some setting in GitHub, and you can check the final result with this link. But note that this is mainly used in Korean. When you access web page, you may see introduction for site and lectures curriculum and organization's logo with Slick that I previously mentioned. And with navigation bar, you can browse our contents by their topic or date. So let's try one of example data table. In slide, user can browse the information and available to our code, copy them, use their own in RStudio, and see the result in this Quarto presentation as table very natively. And it is not required to must be Quarto presentation file. So this is one of PDF file, and also it can be embedded to Quarto web page. So this is archive page that I mentioned, which is Slick, and the previous contents as shape of block. So if you click, you can see detailed information including map or location and some pictures. In this payment page, user can pay with their information with some click that implemented with Axios, like this one. And this is not mentioned in slide, but one of benefit using Quarto web page is that user can use not only desktop but tablet like iPad Pro. So user can see same contents even in slide in tablet or their iPhone. As I introduced briefly results of Quarto web page, and it looks great, but it has some limitations, and I want to mention 2 points. First one is using Quarto to provide R contents requires experience with either R or Markdown. So if you don't have or want to use some coding work, I think Google Sites is also a good option for you. And second, Quarto page is static site that doesn't require any login. So every user can see every content in the web page, which may cause some security problems. So let's recap this talk. I built R4CR, which is managing system for clinical R and R contents. And with R4CR, I can manage web page and contents in just one R project, which use R and Quarto only. And this R4CR not required to pay anymore and able to use custom or additional features with even with API or SDK. And after R4CR built, we could provide our lecture for hospital or university as expected, and it helped us in terms of some recruiting process. And finally, we can write a book based on these materials. After with R4CR, as I mentioned, we use this system very well, but it has some point for improvement, like interactive content using WebR or Shiny Live, or we can add more some advanced contents about R. And below are just considering like internalization or private R4CR or giving some template for R4CR to open source community. And so I hope you are interested and keep stay tuned. So this is last slide of my talk, which shows some helpful resources. And if you have question or suggestion, feel free to contact me. And thank you for listening.